Hi, my name is Dr. Mike Meleski. I'm a chiropractor. I spent 3 years in the Marine Corps, infantry, and from there decided to go into chiropractic. My special focus is repetitive strain injuries, proper body mechanics, better known as ergonomics, and that's why I'm talking to you here today about the injuries that can be sustained in the shoulder joint as well as the upper back, neck, and lower back from releasing a fifth wheel. And first off, I'd like to state that every rig out there from a common sense ergonomic standpoint should have a fifth wheel release such as a Yost Yanker, especially if that fifth wheel has a Jost safety release and you have to apply that much more force in a biomechanically unstable position to move the handle and bring it back. That's a lot of stress on that shoulder joint in that position. So as we look at a cumulative trauma disorder, the best example I found, or analogy, is a dog toy. It's a simple device here. And like a rope, we have these individual strands. These strands represent muscle fibers. Muscle fibers are microscopic, and these guys can tear very, very easily. And enough of these tear over time, it can create a problem called cumulative trauma disorder. The way the body protects itself is by taking these muscle fibers and blending them with connective tissue called fascia, and that they blend together into a bundle, and then those bundles blend together, and those bundles blend together, and pretty soon you got a thick, solid rope that can pull a truck. But at a stress level, these fibers can tear very easily. And if you tear these enough over a repetitive period of time, days, weeks, months, years, you'll develop scar tissue, you'll develop inflammation, you'll develop muscle knots. This will weaken that area, so one day you go and try to release that fifth wheel on your own in a very stressful position, and you can tear the rotator cuff, and then you're leading up to a lot of painful rehabilitation that can take anywhere from a couple of weeks up to a couple of months, and maybe even up a couple of years to fully stabilize. And once the body develops scar tissue, it's weak for the rest of the life. You know, for the employer that feels that that's not his or her responsibility, I think, in my professional opinion, it should be, because he's looking at reduced man hours, he's looking at retraining somebody, he's looking at the cost of rehabilitation, he's looking at the increased costs in worker comp insurance, and just the frustration that goes in. You got a good employee, you got a good worker, and he goes out with a rotator cuff injury or some other injury that could have been prevented from a simple, inexpensive device, a common sense tool, and he's way ahead of the game. It does matter, you know, common sense and dollar sense. It matters. For those drivers that feel that they're, I like to use the term immortal, that this is not going to happen to me, I'd like to have them wake up. Because yes, you could be strong as an ox and you can be able to lift anything, but you have to remember, especially when you have the Jost and you have that safety release, that amount of force and the stress that it puts on the shoulder joint, not to mention the spine and the associated structures, is tremendous, and there's just no way of correctly lifting it. When that shoulder is extended out and you're reaching that far, I don't care how strong you are, it's going to cause stress to that joint, and you're going to have it happen. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next year, it's going to happen. In my professional opinion, if you do have a Jost fifth wheel safety release mechanism, the Yost Yanker is an indispensable tool. I feel that this type of tool should be on every rig. It's ergonomically sound. It minimizes stress to the shoulder joint and the spine, thereby greatly reducing costs, overhead costs to the company, to the employer, and it would benefit the employee by having less stress to the shoulder, thereby less chance of injuring that shoulder, and spending more quality time with his recreational activities and his family. I think it's a perfect tool to have.